country just not come together and admit that Cuties is really bad. And we're back, Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com. I don't get it. Shauna doesn't get it. Shauna, she's not political at all. But Shauna, Shauna got up and she goes, how is Cutie not bipartisan? Right? How is how is it not bipartisan to say, hey, this movie goes too far? Right? It's not complicated. That's how you know we live in just a truly just degenerate society where they say, oh, it's not controversial, or they try to gaslight us and say, well, the movie is actually a commentary on the sexualization of children. And you say, yeah, but how do you sexualize children to show that it's wrong? Yeah, yeah. What do you think about Cutie, Shauna? Shauna's a pretty nonpartisan person. She thinks the political stuff isn't that great. And what's your take on Cuties as a mom?
Well, my take is if we as like a society can't even agree on something that should be common sense enough that how vile this film is, then like we're screwed. There's no nothing. I mean, if we can't even agree on, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh dear. Okay.
So what were you saying about the Cuties?
No, I'm nervous. I can't perform under pressure.
Nobody, you don't have to perform. You're just talking like a human being.
I just think that if we cannot agree across the board, left, right, whatever, that this is a pretty disturbing film. I don't care if the message, it means you're still hypersexualizing children in the film, warning against hypersexualizing children. So if we can't even agree on that,
yeah,
we're screwed, guys.
Should it be right or left wing issue?
It shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be.
Right. So even before, the reason I didn't do a periscope on Cuties earlier today is I don't even want to describe the scenes that I watch because I don't want those clips to be edited out of context. Right. So people like Cernovich describe why Cuties was so bad. It's like, no, because you're not going to have audio of me talking about those scenes. And I only watched 45 seconds and I said, okay, I've seen enough. Don't need to see anything. Don't need to see anything more than that. 45 seconds is more than enough for that. And apparently it gets worse. And then I read descriptions, it gets worse. And then you just, what's up with all these men writing reviews about that film? You know what I'm saying? What's up with men reviewing and defending that? Because let's just say hypothetically you didn't think Cuties was that bad, which is pretty bad. Let women write about that.
Well, so what is their argument?
Their argument is that it's a charming coming of age film. No, motherfuckers, Stand By Me is a coming of age film. Right? Do they even? The Wonder Years is a coming of age telephone show. Right? So they're saying it's a coming of age show, a coming of age movie that shows the problem with sexualizing children.
So what happens at the end of the movie? Not that it matters.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter. The scenes, it's kind of like this. And Stand By Me is a coming of age film. A bunch of children go together to find a dead body. Do you even see the dead body? Do they show like guts hanging out? Well, we had to show you the dead body in Stand By Me so that you could understand it was a coming of age film. Right? Did the Wonder Years need to show Winnie Cooper and whatever the kid's name was doing things to be like, well, it's a coming age film. That's what teenagers do, Teenagers in the back. No, like you can sort of get it. Right? So the argument that it was a coming of age film and therefore it's actually anti-pedo is absurd. It's like, no.
While, like, literally.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Yeah, you're showcasing things that, again, I won't even repeat what I saw because I don't want that clipped and cut. And then 5 years from now, people will be like, I heard a film and you were saying X, Y, and Z. And I was like, or they'll be like, I watched the audio of you and in the audio you said all these things. It's like, yeah, you don't know how audio editing works. But the scenes were graphic. The scenes were indefensible. And it would be one thing, and then the casting, right? So as a filmmaker, I think about who casted them, Were any of the children abused? There should be a full criminal investigation into the casting of this film. Who casted them? Was it men? Right? I read something like 500 children auditioned for it. Right? 500 kids auditioned for it. Were they twerking in front of adult men? There should be a full criminal investigation into every man who was part of that casting process. They should interview every child who was auditioning and every parent. But the parents letting the kid, maybe the parents didn't know what they were doing too.
No, but to be honest, like we have friends who their kids are in cheer, and sometimes it's
So you just got to be, some of these parents are, a little bit of
cheer parents kind of are.
There are some cheer parents that are a little weird. There's some cheer parents that can be a little bit weird too, and their beauty pageant culture is a little weird. That's why I like when people are like, "What about these beauty pageant kids?" And I was like, "Have you ever seen me promote a child beauty pageant? How is that an own?" That's what I mean. People try to own. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're talking about cuties, but what about beauty? Have you ever seen me promote that? Have you ever heard me say that that's a coming of age thing? Right? What exactly is wrong with people in doing that? Right? What is exactly wrong with people in doing that?" So the issue with cuties is simply the graphic depictions. That's the problem. Nobody would have had a problem with the film if the film was, here's a girl, she gets caught up in a bad scene, and then you just
wants to run away to like join a dance.
Yeah, wants to run away, join a dance troupe, but you don't need to show the routines. You don't need to show the booty shorts and all that stuff. But the bigger issue is men casted this, men approved it, men wrote checks for it, right? So as bad as the film itself is, I want to know who are the producers on this. What men want to be involved in that? Because I'm telling you, as a filmmaker, I wouldn't go anywhere near that. Are you kidding me? I would not go near that. So there needs to be a full criminal investigation into every Netflix executive who approved it. And I mean criminal. I mean search warrants issued right now. Seize their laptops, seize their iPhones, seize their computers. Full criminal investigation. Full criminal investigation right now into every man who went near that film. Every Netflix executive who went, and women can be pedos too. So just investigate everybody. I don't care. We need a full FBI task force on this immediately. They need to go into Netflix. They need to start interviewing people. They need to interview the kids. Find out every adult who went near that. They need to be arrested, but you can't arrest them yet. There's not, technically what they did wasn't. Some people are saying those images were illegal and everything. They're not. So, but there's probable cause now. There's probable cause within Netflix. That's for sure. So every executive, every adult who had anything to deal with that, they need to have their laptops and all their computers and everything searched and seized. Search warrants need to go out, and there needs to be a full-scale FBI investigation. And that includes the reporters trying to gaslight us. This whole thing, like, oh, people complain about cuties, haven't watched the full movie. Bro, nobody's talking about the full movie. Like, nobody has a problem with delicate subject matter, right? Nobody has a problem with that. It's like if you watched, I forget the name of the film, but Clint Eastwood directed it. It was set, I think, in Massachusetts. A kid gets kidnapped, hurt, and then Tom, what's his name? Madonna's ex-husband. What's his name?
Guy Ritchie?
He got a generation gap right there. If you think it's Guy Ritchie, he got El Chapo in trouble.
Oh, Sean Penn.
Sean Penn was in it. Mystic River was the movie, right? Mystic River. Nobody's like, how dare you make a film on Mystic River that shows the trauma that a child molestation victim goes through? Literally, nobody's like, ban Mystic River because, they show that kids are hurt. No, because they don't show the kids get hurt. That's the whole point. That's why they're trying to gaslight us, and they're so dumb. Is Mystic River, or that other film where the 4 people were molested in prison and in juvenile detention, and they go track down the old guards and they kill the guards.
With Kevin Bacon.
With Kevin Bacon, that's another one too.
Oh, that movie I saw.
Yeah. So the sleepers, right? Nobody's saying how dare you make a film about sleepers, which talks about the trauma the molestation victims and gay feel and how there's a prison abuse. Nobody's like banned that film, right? It's because of what they're showing. Nobody here is like, oh, we don't like art, we don't like films, we can't watch a movie that makes you struggle with emotional issues. Nobody's saying ban Mystic River. We're saying that if Mystic River had depicted what actually happened when that child was kidnapped in graphic detail, then yes, we would have wanted everyone involved in that film arrested. Sleepers was close to the line, that's for sure. Sleepers, maybe, yeah, Sleepers maybe was a little bit over the line too. So if we're talking about dealing with the sensitive subject matter, we would say Mystic River, very emotionally grueling, very difficult, but the kid's not sexualized, right? And then you have Sleepers, which is there were a couple scenes that were pretty rough and pretty close to any kind of line that maybe you tolerate in film. But even then, though, it wasn't sexualizing. It was about the damage that happens to people. And then you have Cuties, which is just purient. It's just straight pedo shit. It's just straight up people watching 11-year-olds straight pedo. That there's no, we don't have a problem with the coming of age themes. We don't have a problem with Mystic River. And I love how they're gaslighting us, but they're really showing their asses. And by the way, they're helping us. But how much would I pay the media to be branded anti-pedo? They're like, oh yeah, if you read that New Yorker review, there's some familiar faces on the far right wing. Wink, wink. They knew it was me because I was the first person to talk about it months ago. And it's like, oh, so you're going to attack me because I'm anti-pedo, and you think that hurts me? Where can I send a check? You're going to brand me as anti-pedo. Do I need to send you a check, or how much do I owe you for that kind of promotion? Right? You just, because you sit here really and you're like, you're telling people that I'm anti-pedo and you think that hurts me. What is going on in this world? And the media stories are all framing it as right-wing attacks. Thank you. My God. Just imagine you're like a normie in Omaha, Nebraska. And then you're like, what's this cute? Oh, the right wing is attacking Cuties. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, so the right wing are the good guys. The left wing media is the ones defending it. What? Shauna's not red pilled. Shauna is still deep in a purple pill, maybe a blue pill. Shauna does not believe Democrats want to normalize pedophilia. She doesn't. Shauna, it's like, for me, just endlessly frustrating. She's like, Michael, why'd that California legislator enact that law that made it so that if a 24-year-old man's with a 15-year-old, he doesn't have to register as a sex offender, maybe, depending on the judge? And I said, babe, because Democrats want to normalize pedophilia. That can't be right. Right? It's like, how many more things that's like SB 145? It's like, how many more things do I have to show you before you just accept?
How many people actually believe, how many people actually believe that the Democrats want pedophilia? Is that true?
Yes. Literally everyone knows this. It isn't Republicans trying to normalize it.
Say yes or hands up if you guys really, is that true? Or is he just like messing? You guys really? Okay.
Because it's true. How much more? That's the whole thing. She's like, why is the media defending Cuties? Because the thing is, you don't have to defend Cuties. You can like not write about it. Yeah, so everybody, Ali, everybody, it's like, how much more evidence do you need?
Wow. All right.
Okay. Here's my question for Shauna. Shauna, here's my question for you. All those reporters who follow me and attack me and smear me, how many of them have written about the human trafficking and child trafficking arrests recently made by the government? None.
I only
Zero.
saw it posted because you guys posted it.
Correct. So it's the Democrat media, the people that obsess over everything I do, the people that you've heard me on the phone with. Yes. Well, they report on. They won't. No. So why not?
Because they're pedos.
Because they support it.
Okay, I'm not laughing about that. My question is it because people have such severe TDS that anything that people on the right do, they have to be against no matter where it stands because they just hate Trump so much?
So here's what I tell her. It's like a litmus test because she's met these reporters and she's heard me on the phone with them and everything. And these reporters, They follow me because she's been with me when their alerts go off. Because a lot of reporters, I would say hundreds of reporters, subscribe to my notifications for Twitter because they all have this wet dream that one day I'm just going to tweet something so bad and they want to get that screenshot. So I've been around reporters like, and I've been on the phone with reporters and they're like, "Are you tweeting while I talk? While we talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And then I would hear in the background the phone go like, brr, brr. So they all know.
Losers.
So the question is, why will the left-wing media not report on human trafficking, child trafficking arrests happening? See, she doesn't want to accept it. And that's probably why we have a relationship if she's not jaded, because if she really believed the truth, she might be jaded, and it's probably better for our relationship for her to be a little bit more naive. But she knows, like, she sees these people. She's met them. None of them will talk about the arrests. Everything that they have to say is, oh, anyone who goes after pedos is a conspiracy theorist, QAnoner. It's like, we're not QAnon. I'm certainly not QAnon. But that's what they do. But then when there are actual child trafficking arrests, it's the New York Times front page. No, but they want to talk about QAnon every obsessed, right? Oh, there's another QAnon thing. It's like, okay, well, maybe the reason QAnon exists is because and reporters won't report on it. So we have mass child trafficking arrests happening, a blackout from corporate media, New York Times, other outlets. That's not page one stuff. Ed Buck, primate, Democrat donor. And then you have Cuties, and they're defending it. Again, they're not just not. And by the way, some of these reporters I know won't even touch it because they know it's bad, but they don't have the courage to say it's bad. So there's a lot of them where I'm like, like Molly Jung Fast hasn't tweeted anything about it. Right.
Oh God.
Right. So as kooky as Molly is, Molly's not defending Cuties, or at least last I checked, she wasn't defending it. So there's a lot of like resistant liberal women who they're like, those are the people that they have TDS so bad that they won't just say this is wrong because they don't want to side with the right wing. But they won't say anything about it either. They're not defending it. So you're seeing a lot of people who they won't defend it, but they won't come on the side of truth either and just say, no, why can't the country agree? It would be good for the country to all agree that you shouldn't have 11-year-old girls doing the kinds of things that they're doing for a Netflix audience, right?
I agree.
You agree? By the way, Hoaxed will never be on Netflix, but Cuties will be. What's that tell you, right? Hoaxed, #1 documentary of the year, fact. One of the top independent films of the year, fact. Bigger than 90% of any movie on Netflix. Fact. Hoaxed will not be on Netflix, but Cuties will be. That's a decision that they've made. That's an editorial, and not only that, but they're promoting Cuties to all of its audience. Sickos. She still doesn't believe it though. So tomorrow it'll be like, tomorrow she'll be like, Michael, I just saw saw another liberal.
I will not. I just can't. I just don't understand. It has not clicked. I don't get why a group would be pro little kids being abused. So I just.
It's because they're death worshippers. It's a death cult. It's a satanic cult. It's a demonic cult. And they want to destroy innocence. So for them, it's less about the sexual gratification, and it's more about
like the family, the nuclear family.
To destroy the nuclear family.
And then have all these like zombies they can easily control.
And broken people, damaged people that they can enslave, and who also, as part of their ritualistic practice, they suck away the life force of people, and then metaphorically, not literally, metaphorically, and then that's how they get off. That's what inspires them. That's why they do it in the open versus just doing it in secret. So Shauna doesn't.
Everybody's so woke on here.
Yeah. So that's why Shauna's like, I don't talk politics ever with her, because it's like I'm talking to a normie, like who lives with me. She's seen people get arrested for pedophilia who attacked me. Like I've been literally been like, yep, that guy's in federal prison now. Like, well, why would a pedophile protest you? Why would a pedophile protest me? Right. Yeah. Well, that's why.
These comments are coming so fast.
Yeah. One day you'll be able to read them and go along. So Shauna's got to get a little bit more understanding of the world we live in. See what I have to deal with? A normie. My wife is a normie.
I'm not that normie.
But the people she follows on Instagram are at least woke. So actually, we probably just shamed her publicly because a lot of her friends. So how to explain it? I plugged her into a social group, and a lot of these moms knew of me. So then they're like all good friends with her now. So next time they hang out, they're going to be like, Shauna, you didn't know that? You didn't know about SB 145?
I know, they're so disappointed with me because they're like, what do you mean? You don't know what adrenochrome is? And I'm like, what?
Well, adrenochrome I don't buy. So, yeah, I'm not an adrenochrome guy. So I don't believe the adrenochrome thing. I don't believe that they're meeting
People think like I have all this juice because Mike's my husband, and they're like, Shauna, what? I was like, I don't know actually. Like, what do you mean you don't ask him? I was like, no, I don't really care about that.
Yeah, so adrenochrome, no. The Q stuff, no. The interdimensional things, no. But the broader point though is any man remotely attached to this film, including all the Netflix executives, all adults, we'll just keep it gender neutral. There needs to be a criminal investigation.
One last question. It is a French film, so does that play into the whole democratic situation?
What's the age of consent in France? What's the age of consent in France?
16.
Okay, Shauna thinks the age of consent in France is 16.
I'm sorry. Do I need to? Is this like
can someone rescue me? She thinks the age of consent in France is 16.
Okay. Pop quiz geniuses over here. What is it?
People
See,
know.
This is not common knowledge, mate.
They know. People know. No, it just takes a couple seconds to lag. Okay. Yeah.
See, 16.
No, it's not 16.
What's the age of consent in France? Apparently, this is common knowledge. 13. No.
It's 14. 14. 14.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's 14. So there's some people are saying 15. Maybe it got bumped up, but it was 14. Last I looked. So see, there's a lot of
14
people.
14 or 15.
Yeah, so it's low. In other words.
Yeah.
So and France is what, left wing or right wing? Right wing is what? Right wing is protecting your children, protecting your daughters. It isn't about anything goes kind of thing, and it certainly isn't about kids. So, all right, friends, now you see what I have to deal with. Shauna doesn't even know, even though she knows, but she won't truly accept. She won't truly accept what is going on because she's too sweet and good-hearted and naive. But it's good. Probably for me, it's happier. No, Shauna didn't vote for Hillary. Idiot.
No, you guys, come on.
Who calls her crooked Hillary 2? You're blocked. Idiot. All right, friends.
What? That's not a reason to block someone.
All right, friends. Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com, CERNOVICH.com. Let your friends know, man, who's defending cuties. This is just it's an utterly indefensible thing. It's being defended by the mass media right now. Every prestigious outlet in the world, well, in the Western world. That's why when people go, Sharia law, I'm like, honestly, this is my choice now. My choice is Sharia law or cuties, right? That's the state of the West. Sharia law or cuties. So when people go, Sharia law is coming, I'm like, oh no. Oh, that would be terrible. It would be terrible to have chaperone dates. It'd be terrible. I mean, could you imagine if Cuties was released in like Saudi Arabia, right? Just imagine. No, really. Like, just imagine, or Jordan, right? Or even Israel. Like, just imagine they like posted that folder or that flyer for Cuties in Saudi Arabia, and they're like, oh yeah, come watch Cuties in Saudi Arabia. Can you even just imagine what would happen to that? So when all these boomers are like, oh my God, we got to worry about the Sharia law. Let's just say I'm not so worried about Not because this is the choice we have now: drag queen story hour, Sharia law,
Don't they teach
cuties,
like masturbation and stuff really young too?
Courtney Holland posted a tweet too that things are out of control here, man. That's for sure. Things are out of control here, and cuties is it's the latest, man. So all I would say is that this is an opportunity to not. This is an opportunity to educate your friends and family when they be like, Democrats don't support normalizing pedophilia at all. You can just say, well, here's the New Yorker defending this film. Oh, here's a scene from this film. Right? It doesn't get much more clear than that. Here you go. The New Yorker, the Independent, the Guardian, all the verifies on Twitter, they are defending cuties. Here is a scene from Cuties. And then show them that. If you dare, or maybe just describe it.
Well, one of my Democrat friends said that he's absolutely appalled.
Yeah, no, this is a too where the Democrat media establishment and the Democrats are different. A lot of my friends are Democrats. I don't have any Democrat friend defending cuties. They would all be mortified. But what they would say is, oh yeah, but that's not really, Democrats don't support that. Cernovich goes, because that's what they always say, Cernovich goes too far. Cuties is bad, but we Democrats don't defend that. And then you're like, okay, well, would you consider the New Yorker a Democrat-leaning publication? Would you consider the Guardian, the Huffington Post, the Independent? Would you consider these, left-wing media institutions? Well, yeah. And then you go, well, here's what they're saying about cuties. So there's a disc. By the way, this is, again, cuties reminds me a lot of Antifa, which is that Democrats are defending shit that's bad for Democrats. This only hurts Democrats. Writing a hit piece on me, calling me a conspiracy theorist because I oppose pedophilia, doesn't hurt me. That helps me. Not one Democrat outside of their pedo establishment, like a normie Democrat, union worker's not gonna be like, who's this Cernovich guy? Oh, he opposes pedophiles. Not one is gonna have that reaction. So they attack me and they smear me and they call me all these names. And I'm like, you people are so disconnected from the real world, from real Democrats, that you think you're harming me and you're damaging me when all they're doing is damaging the entire media establishment. Absolutely disgusting. Thanks for watching. Mike Cernovich. Cernovich.com. 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 A lot of people mad. A lot of people gunning for me. A lot of people reporting me. I got a notification from Twitter that they're flagging tweets of mine criticizing Cutie. Yeah, I'll show it to you. So keep the faith, people. Watch my back.